And Trueteller, what does he do? Wow, he just ships all in for 10 times Linus's bets, and he ships for 200 bigs total. And we've got Trueteller open raising the button to 450. Trueteller is a very advanced player. He uses very complicated strategies, and he will actually use multiple sizes on the button. He's the only player who does that other than Stefan. So today he felt like raising a little bit smaller. And because OTB is getting a pretty good price here, not paying a whole lot of rake, he's going to do a lot of defending in the big blind. Ace 34 is a pretty blank board. Both guys are going to hit this board somewhat well. I mean, OTB is going to defend hands like Ace 4 offsuit, Ace 3 offsuit, 5 deuce suited, 4s, 3s, good aces, whatnot. He's going to have some hands like 5-7, 5-6 that have an open end or a gut shot. So 5-7 actually has a double gut shot. So both guys are going to be moderately aggressive here. Trueteller goes for this 40% pot bet. He loves this bet size. And OTB calls. When OTB calls, he's going to have quite a wide range. Any pair, any ace, a lot of king and queen high, some weaker draws he's going to call with, and a couple of nutted hands himself. Check, check on the 8, which means that Trueteller's range is somewhat capped here. I could maybe see him check back at like a really cool hand, like maybe pocket aces or something, but I don't really see him checking back a hand like pocket 8s or hand like ace 8 very often. I would say OTB definitely has a lot of 2 pairs here. He's going to have some straights. He's even going to have some sets of 8s and 5s. So he's going to lead this river quite aggressively. And if he has a hand like, let's say, Queen 10 suited, his hand is no longer good and he should be turning it into a bluff, right? He's got the bottom of his range. That hand has an EV of near 0, basically. And you should, therefore turn it into a bluff. I mean, you have so many hands to value bet with as well. So you need to balance those value bets. So OTB actually goes for this small overbet, like 1.2%, 1.2x pot, roughly, which is cool. Even a hand like 2 pair can probably use this bet size. Maybe OTB even bets a hand like ace 10 like this, thinking, well, Trueteller doesn't really improve on this river. Ace jack, ace queen, ace king, he probably would have bet on the turn anyway, so I can go for pretty thin value here. And Trueteller, wow. So Trueteller raises to 23K, which is pretty crazy. Even if he had a deuce, I don't think he would raise this large. Let's see, he has a hand like ace deuce. I imagine he raises to somewhere like 7,000. So when he raises this large, he's basically saying he's got 6-7. 6 deuce perhaps, but I don't think he opens that hand on the button against such a good player. So he's saying he's got 6-7 suited, and it's possible, right? Maybe even 6-7 offsuit. Again, I don't think he opens that hand, but maybe he does. So can Trueteller have 6-7 suited? Yeah, he could, right? It's possible. I mean, I could see him maybe check the turn sometimes. 6-7 of hearts, maybe not so much. I mean, he's got a gut shot, flush draw, maybe some 7 and a 6 to give him the best hand. So that hand, not so often. But I could definitely see him checking behind 7-6 of spades, diamonds, and clubs. So he's repping a very thin range, though. Very thin. So it's pretty easy to overbluff here. And OTB, I mean, he can have 6-7 himself. So let's see what he calls with. I imagine he's mostly calling here with a deuce and 6-7 and 6 deuce. So OTB has ace deuce. Wow, 7s by Trueteller. Okay, so Trueteller opens 7s on the button, standard, c-bet the flop, standard, check turn, standard. You're not really getting value anymore. At the same time, your hand is too strong to bluff with. And off the river, he's thinking, well, I block 6-7, right? So it's less likely that OTB has 6-7. It's more likely he's got some type of thinner value bet like 2 pair, which he cannot call against my huge raise size. So Trueteller was definitely repping the nuts or nothing there. And OTB, he called ace 2 suited, cool. He checked all the flop and checked the turn. Obviously, on the river, I think his hand is cool as a check check raise potentially, but leading is a standard play. And he's thinking, well, Trueteller can easily be out of line here. He's repping so thinly. If he takes a lot of hands like 5-7 suited or 7s, he can easily be over bluffing. And Trueteller, he's a crazy player. He could just show up with, I don't know, king jack offsuit here sometimes as well. So I don't think OTB should be folding, but it's a tough call, right? I mean, it was a $48,000 pot. So nice end to both of them. I will give OTB a I'll give him an 8.5 out of 10. I'll give Trueteller a 7.5, but he gets a 10 for heart. So what do you guys think of that one? 100, 200 heads up. And look, you see how Trueteller actually raises to 3.5x on the button? Before he made it 450, which would have been 225. So Linus goes for a much larger 3-bet this time. Makes sense. He wants to charge Trueteller more money. And Trueteller is having absolutely none of it. He's saying, well, I'm raising large. I must have a good hand, right? I'm going to 4-bet you. 10-10-6 is a, it's a somewhat relevant board, but not that relevant. Both guys can have a couple of flush draws, especially Linus will. And both guys can have some 10x. Linus could call this 4-bet with hands like, King 10 suited or 10 9 suited, whatnot. Trueteller could have bluffed pre-flop with a hand like Ace 10 offsuit and now, hit the dream flop. The 6 doesn't matter too much. I guess Linus could have a hand like 6s sometimes. Maybe Trueteller can have a hand like Ace 6 or King 6 suited to 4-bet bluff with. Bet and call. Trueteller doesn't need to bet extremely large in order to get a lot of value here. The board is just pretty dry. Now this card makes the board a lot more wet. And with around 1.5x pot behind, you definitely want to push your aggression here. Trueteller betting large again betting larger makes sense. The board is a lot more wet now. Protection becomes more important. And Linus check raises. Oh, wow. And second run out is an 8. Okay, interesting. So Linus called the 5-bet with kings, the 4-bet with kings. He would usually end up shoving, I would imagine, but given that they're 250 big blinds deep, he probably thought he's only getting called by aces, maybe by the other pocket kings. And Trueteller 4-bet ace queen, which happens sometimes. It's pretty cool. I wouldn't have expected him to know that back then, so, it's a low frequency play, but yeah, I like it. And then Trueteller bets a flop, nice c-betting hand. He bets a turn, blocking pocket queens, blocking queens unsuited, just having, top pair, top kicker. And I don't think he can fold to the check raise all in. Linus can have a couple of worse value hands. He can have some bluffs as well. And Linus ended up shoving, which I don't really mind. So I'll give both guys a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a very nice play. And, Trueteller happens to win the first run out. It's always sad, right? When you get it in really well, and you get it in really good, and then you just lose the first run out. And at best, let's say somebody has a combo draw, and he just hits his out immediately or something, right? And he doesn't ruin his other out. It's a terrible feeling because best case scenario, you get your money back. Trueteller opening to 225 again. And they're quite deep here. So Linus 3-bets to 11.5 big blinds. Somewhat standard 3-bet size back then. Trueteller goes for a pretty big 4-bet here. I mean, they're a little bit deeper. Very aggressive 4-bet so far. And Linus' main play is just a call here, right? He's getting an okay price. And damn it, I was about to say you can lead here, but now Linus ruined it for me, and so I can't show off my skills. But on a serious note, Linus led here, which is actually a pretty cool play. Jack 9-8 is a much better board for Linus. Linus is much more likely to have jacks, 9s, 8s, queen 10 suited, 9-8 suited, jack 9 suited. I don't think he has jack 8 suited, but who knows. So Linus definitely improves on this board more than Trueteller does. Trueteller is more likely to improve on the ace and king high boards. And Trueteller, what does he do? Wow, he just ships all in for 10 times Linus's bets, and he ships for 200 bigs total. I don't like this play at all. I think that's quite a bad play. I mean, if Linus has 2 pairs, set or straight, he just laughs and calls, and if he has anything decent, he just folds. So let's see if Trueteller is bluffing with the ace 10 off, or if he just has kings or aces or something. Yeah, so Linus has bottom 2 pair. His hand definitely wants to get it in. His hand is very good, but there's a lot of ugly runouts. As you can see right here, he's about to lose the first one. And yeah, Trueteller's play, I mean, I get what he's trying to do. He definitely needs to protect his hand a little bit, but not from that much. I mean, if Linus has ace 10, well, you block that, right? If Linus has king queen, he only has a gut shot. So, yeah, I don't really like Truetell's play at all. I'll give Linus a 9 out of 10 again. I don't mind a 3-bet. I like the call against a 4-bet. And I don't mind this donk. And, you could be behind, I guess, but Trueteller shoving over pairs, maybe like a jack sometimes, maybe like a crazy bluff. So definitely calling. I'll give him a 9 out of 10. Trueteller's play, obviously opening, obviously 4-betting. And facing this bet, I think you can raise small. I think you can call, but I don't think you can shove 200 big blinds. So I'll give Trueteller I'll give him a 5 out of 10. It's not a horrendous play, of course. I could definitely see Linus call this bet here with 10 unsuited, Jack 10 suited, something like that. Maybe, I don't think he calls King 10 suited, but who knows? So I could see Trueteller being called by worse here, but he's also going to get called by 8s, 9s, Jacks, Queen 10 here. So a little bit of an overplay at 200 big blinds at least. That's a fun one.